Hello guys, welcome back again. This is Suresh from his automation channel. Today in this session, we're going to discuss about data-driven testing using a TestNG Data Provider. So in this, we will discuss how we can fetch the data from the Excel file and pass it into our test automation test cases. There is a two different approaches using this Excel. So we have an Excel with an extension called .xls, and one more we have .xlsx. So to handle these two different extensions, we have two different approaches in the Apache POI. So one is using a HSSF and one is XSSF. So XSSF is used to handle the .xls X extension XLs, and .xls will be handled by HSSF. So these two are the classes which can be used to handle these two different extension XLs. So let's get into the actual coding. Let me open Eclipse IDE. So go to the files, go to the new and create a Maven project. So select this create simple project archetype, skip archetype. So here I will provide as data driven. Okay, destination is already exists, so we will append one more. I think I have used somewhere the same data driven underscore test. Right. Just a unique name we need to provide that will be added as an group ID and artifact ID, and that will be created as a project here. So this is the project. Right. Under pom.xml, we don't have anything. So now we have to add all those dependencies and plugins. And we are using one application called Orange HRM. And also I will open MVN repositories. So from this repositories, we can download all the dependencies that are required for us. So here I will go for Apache POI. Okay, and for Apache POI we have different libraries. So I'm going to the second one, Apache POI API based on OPC. I will select the latest version and copy the dependency and go back to the Eclipse. So here I will create a dependency stack. Dependencies under that dependency, this is the one of the dependency. So this is done, and again I will go back here and I will select the Selenium dependency, Selenium Java dependency, and the latest version is 4.18.1. So I will use that dependency, and we need one more dependency called TestNG. So because data provider is part of this TestNG, so I will download and keep the dependency. So as I'm using the Maven project, I'm copying all the dependencies. But if you are using just direct Java project, you can download the jars from the respective dependencies page. So here I have a dependency for Maven Gradle. But in case if you are using a Java project, you can click on this jar. It will get the downloaded jar file, and you can place it in the build plugins. I mean build path. Okay, I will now format it and quickly save. There will be a folder created here, Maven dependencies. So that folder is created and everything is set up now. And as I created a Maven project, it will come with some folder structure format. One is a source main Java, source main resources, source test Java, and source test resources. So source test Java is a file where we will create one package. So package with a class. So this class I will name it as test methods. Test methods, and this I will name it as uh, test underscore data driven utility. Okay, I will name this as this package name, and under that I have created one test method. So first we will try to understand how we can fetch the data from the Excel, and how we can put that Excel method into the data provider, how we will call that data provider into our test cases. So we will go by one by one. So first we will try to see for Excel handling. So to handle the Excel, we need to create a method for it. So I will name it as public. So as we need to pull the values from the Excel, right? So my Excel is two-dimensional array kind of data that I am fetching rows and columns. So for that I will keep this as name as string with a two-dimensional array. So this I will name it as get Excel data. Okay, and this will require the two parameters. One parameter is the file extension, and another parameter is a sheet name. So file name and the sheet name we need to provide. So that I will name it as string file name, string sheet name. Right. So these are the two things which are needed for us now. After that creation of signature, I will just create one string with an two-dimensional array and name it as data. So I will tell you why I need to create this and where we will use it. So this I will name it as null as initial. Later point we will pull the data into that string. So now we need to start writing or handling the files. So this is one of the file, right? The Excel is itself one of the file. So I will name it as try catch. So before we jump here, I will show you the Excel data. So I have one Excel file on my desktop. So I will open that. So in this you can see here there is a username and password with a couple of combination of username and passwords, three different, and this is named as sheet name as data. So this is the sheet name that we are getting, and this is the file. Wherever this file is there, I need to get that file location. So now I will copy this data one and I will go back to the Eclipse. So in the source test resources, I will paste this. Now you can see there is a file here. Now we need to copy this extension and we need to pass it to the file names. Right. Now in the string, in the try catch block, what I will do, I will create a file handling methods. One is file input stream, file input stream from Java IO, and this I will name it as a name called fs. Then I will create a new object reference for this. So file input file input stream, and this file input stream needs to accept what? The file name. So the file name, wherever my file is there, that file name I will copy here, or it is a simply absolute path or a path that is pointing to my Excel file. So now after that, as I told you in the Apache POI, we have two approaches. So this is the extension with the .xlsx. So I need to use the concept of XSSF workbook, and I will name it as WB and equals. So this I need to create again a new object for it, XSSF workbook. So under that workbook, I need to pass the FS, the file system or file input stream object reference I need to pass. After that, XSSF sheets. So for that, I will name it as sheets equals. So now we don't need to create an object for this XSSF sheets. So we need to use the workbook. Under that, we have a method called getSheetName. GetSheet, and in that sheet name, we have to call the sheet name which is we have provided in the signature. So that is already calling here. And now again, we got workbook, we got sheet. Now we need to go for rows. So to handle that, again, I have one more class called XSSFRow, and this I will name it as normal row, and this will be under sheets, right? So sheets dot get row. So get row, initially it's a 0, right? And now, so we got four different methods which are required: file system, then after that we need a workbook, then after we need a sheet, under that sheet we have a rows. So all those are now defined. Now next thing is we have to get them the exact count. So I may be providing n number of data sets into my Excel. So I need to get the number of rows and number of columns. So to get that, I can use a concept here where I will name it as number of rows equals, so number of rows equal to where this number of rows will be available in the sheets, right? So in the sheet I need to get, So this is sheets. So in the sheets, I need to get the number of rows available in that sheet. So to get that, what I can use? I can use one of the class called get physical number of rows. So this is one of the integer type. So this will get the number of integer value or number in available in the sheets. And next one is one more column we needed. So for that, I will name it as number of uh, columns, and this will be available where within the row. So in a row, how many columns are available? So for that, I need to get the row. So initially in the previous line we have discussed about the sheets, and under sheet we have a rows. Now within the row we need to find the number of rows. So to get that, again, row dot get cell number. So we have a first cell number, we have a last cell number. So we need to get the last cell number. So whatever cell which is available at the last, that is the number that we need to capture and put it in the number of columns here. Right. So we got two integer values now, and now I will use one interface called cell. So I will use the interface called cell here, and I will show you where I will use it. So I am defining the cell interface and with the reference as cell. Now I'm using the string data. So here we have declared the string data, right? The two-dimensional data. So I need to call this now, and I will put, because we need to return this value. So how we need to return this? So to return that, we need to create something for it. So I am creating a object reference string, and within the two dimensions, right? Within the two dimensions, we have to use one concept called, here we have a number of rows, right? So number of rows minus 1 minus 1, and then after followed by, so there is no space here, and number of column here. So this will be a row count, this will be column count. So this will be iterated as a matrix kind of notation. So 0 comma 0, 0 comma 1, 1 comma 0, 1 comma 1, like that it will be iterating, right? So this will be returning as a signature we have read string two-dimensional array. So that two-dimensional array will be returned by using this command. Now we need to iterate within the for loops to go through all the data sets which are available in my Excel sheet. So for that I will use the for loop for int I equals 1 semicolon I less than number of rows, and I incremented. And this is the rows iteration. After that, within the one row, in each row we may have a number of columns. So to handle that, I will again call one more for loop. Now int j equals, so integer should start, I mean this row iteration, column iteration should start from 0th row. So I'm selecting 0, and then after that j less than or equal to number of rows, number of columns here. So initially we have used rows, now we have to use the columns here. After that, j incremented, and within that flow. So within that, after that you come into the row, and after that from one row I need to again jump into the column, and after that jumping into the column, now I need to iterate within the rows. How I can iterate? So I'm taking a row here, row reference row equals, so where this row will be available within the sheets dot get row, right? Get row of I. So this is the ith row, right? And after that, next we have cell. So I have declared the interface called cell with a reference of cell, right? So for interface, we don't need to create an object reference. We have to use a reference and call that. So cell. Now I need to get the exact cell value which is available in the row. So this is the get row of I, so which is in the ith row, and ith row I will need to get the row cell value. Okay, for that I will use row here, row dot get cell data. So cell get cell of j. Right, now I got row and cell here. Now again using this data data reference. So within that data, I again provide the notation of two-dimensional array and using that cell. So now I got get cell. So wherever this is there, so I got the cell. Within the cell, I got the cell name and I need to get the exact cell value from that. So I need to use again cell reference here. So here row, from row where the value which is there from the sheet, I'm getting a row which is storing into the row again. From that row, in the next line, I'm getting the cell. Now from that cell, this is the cell. So from that cell, I am getting again get string value of cell. So that I will need to provide get string get string cell value. So get string cell value we have to use. Okay. Now here in the data, what I need to provide. So I minus 1 and next followed by j. So this is the same thing that we have provided here, right? So similar to that, I have provided in the I and j format here. So now we got the condition that required to iterate within the Excel, and after that, I need to provide the exception. So for this exception, I will just simply name it as sysout, and in the sysout, I will mention as the exception is, so I will get the exception as just a message e dot get message, and in the return after the try catch I will just return the data, right? So there is no errors now. So this is the method which is required to get the data from the Excel. Now I need to create a data provider for it. So to create a data provider, we have to use the annotation called data provider, and data provider required a name, right? So I need to use the name here, and this is Excel data. Excel data is my data provider name. After that, I will create a public object and it is a two-dimensional object, and this is the Excel data provider, and in the next line I will use the object again here, object with the two-dimensional array, and I will name it as array object, and I need to again call the this one. This is the method I need to call here, get Excel data. Under that get Excel data, I need to provide the file name. So file name in the sense, where is my file located? So I will right click it to my file, go to the property and copy this file location, and here I will provide with a string. Then after that, comma separated by sheet. So the sheet I have named it as data within the smalls letters data, and this will accept the return, right? So here I will name it as return array object, right? Now we got data provider. Now again we got a method. Now we need to create a test cases for it. So in the same source test Java, in the same class, I will create, I mean the same package, I will create another test test automation. So test automation is my class. Under that I will create a test methods. So now I will initially declare the web driver reference as a global level to access everywhere within my methods. So now I will create as after class public void after class, and here in this class I will use driver equal to new Chrome driver dot manage dot window dot maximize to maximize the window. Again driver dot manage dot timeout dot implicit wait. So implicit wait syntax is changed, so we have to use that duration here. So D is capital duration dot of seconds. Let me give the 10 seconds. Right. Now driver dot get method. So in the get method I will provide the application URL. So application URL, I will go back to my browser and this is the application URL. Right. So now we got after class. Then after that, this is a before. So I will name here after class. This is a before class, and I will name it as before. Right. And under after class, again I will create a simple condition here called tear down. So once my execution is done, I need to close my browser or quit the browser. So driver dot quit. Right, we got before and after. Then now this is the actual test that we need to write. So here again we need to call at the rate test because this is the test cases, and under that test cases we need to call again data provider. So this is a data provider. So data provider name is Excel data. So this is the Excel data that we need to provide. And after that, as data provider is not in the same class, so I need to provide data provider class here, data provider class, and this is available in my test methods. So test method dot class. Right. So this is the condition that we need to provide. After that, I need to create a signature of that test void test login and open with braces. And as I'm using a login, right? So we have a two rows, two naming conventions we have used in the Excel. One is username and password. So to do that, I will use string username, comma, string password. So this is the two parameters that we need to use to iterate within my Excel. Now I need to again go to my browser and get the XPath for it. So inspect. So you can see here this is having a username as a name here. So I can simply use the name driver dot find element by dot name. So under that name this is the username dot clear. So because this is the we are using a multiple set of iterations, right? So first we need to clear that. Again we have to send the send case. So this is used to where in the first go we have given some user details. If it is not a valid, it will stay there. So to clear that, I am using this condition, and after that I am providing send keys. Send keys is used to give the username. So username, and after that again password is there, right? So this is a password attribute. So I will inspect that and I can see that this is also name with the password. So I will copy that name. Again now driver dot find element by dot name and I will provide a clear for this. So same thing for password also. We have to clear if anything there. Then after that, I can use the send keys. So this is a generic way I'm using, but you can simplify with more usable keywords here. Or I can use a utility function where I can pass somewhere, I mean, all the clear, all the send keys into the somewhere utilities function. I can just call the name of it. Then I will provide the X path for it. So that will be simply readable format. So that we will see in later sessions. So now I will pass the password here. Now we got the username and we got the password, and I need to click the login button. To click that login button, I need to see again. So you can see here there are uh, button with type submit. So I will try to see if I can find this. So button with type submit. So I can write the XPath related to XPath button followed by at the rate type equals submit. Right, submit is also one of one. So I will copy this. Now driver dot find element by dot XPath, and here I will name this as XPath. Then dot click action. Right. So this is done. So login functionality is done till here. Now I need to add one assertion to it. So to add assertion, what I will do is I will simply use this login credentials and go into that application. I will try to see if this name is displaying on the left corner section. I will inspect it. So this is the name, right? Again, I need to just see, I need to inspect this. So this is of P type. So P with the class name this. So I will just use this as an object reference. I mean finding the locator for this. So this is under P with at the rate class equals. So this is also one of one. I can use this string name or profile name equals driver dot find element by dot XPath, and this is XPath. After that, get text. So get text is responsible to get the text from that web element. Now I will use asset TestNG dot asset equals. So asset equals, and here I will provide the profile name, and in the null section I will provide the actual value which is displaying on the application. So this is the value. So this is the value I will try to put the assertion on it, and after that I need to log off, or I can simply stay there and see. So I can inspect again. Uh, so this is a one of one. Driver dot find element by dot XPath dot click. Again, after that, again, after clicking that, we have a logout option. So this is also with an a anchor tag with a logout. So link text we can use here. Link text logout. So driver dot find element by dot link text. So this is a link text logout dot click. Right. So we got everything here. We got a test method, we got before and after classes, and we are using the data provider here, Excel and data provider method class. And here in this we have data provider and we have got Excel. And here also we have our Excel data. So these are the four parameters that, I mean, four iterations one iteration is in header row, and next we have a 3 iteration data row. So now I will simply go to my annotation test Java and right click, run as TestNG test. So it is started running. Now you can see browser is open. It's first time it will try to log in. I think it has logged in. It will verify the profile name. It should log out. Okay, let me see what is happening in the Eclipse IDE. So first case is done, but it's supposed to execute 3 times, but it has opened only one time. So for the other time, it is showing as null null. For the one test, it has provided with the username and password. The other case also it has provided with null and null references. So might be we are doing some small mistake here. Let me correct it. Unable to locate CSS selector or selector in the username. So this name is not working out. So I will try to change it and put a XPath there. Okay, let me inspect this. And here I will use as class, or simply I will use a placeholder here. So let me use the input and use a placeholder. Username, it's also one of one. Let's try this one. XPath. As I replaced with the name, I will copy and paste that values. So I will do it for password as well. Alright, I have replaced with the XPath instead of names there. So again, I will try to run this program again. So it is calling now. I think first iteration is done. So I can see no errors at present. So for one time it has successfully entered into the application. I think one test case it is trying to run and fail. One is assertion is getting failed. Another thing is the values itself is coming as null here. Yeah, one is assertion fail you can see here. Expected this, but we got a different name. So assertion failure is one because we are getting a data there. All right, let me try to log in again. Log in and change the assertion. Okay, I will use the same name. Right, quickly save and I will run again. Right, it is running again. So first time it went invalid. Okay, in the previous case it directly jumped into the third row and 2 times it has invalid credentials. Third time it should get the actual value. Right, so it has entered and everything is run and one test case is passed. So we haven't changed anything except the assertion, but everything is same. So we have used the same set of data. same iterating rows, iterating columns, everything is same. Yeah, so this is working fine. So this is the way that we can use the data-driven testing for the Excel. And in the upcoming session, I will show you more utility functions to create or to write the data into the Excel and get the data from XLS extension using a HSSF class. I hope this session is helpful for you. In case if you are new to my channel, do subscribe to my channel. If you are having any questions, queries, you can post in my comment section. I will help you out. Thank you for watching.